Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to share with you an update as to everything that I know about the status of Celine handbags. Specifically, the handbags that were designed during Phoebe Philo's tenure with the brand, which is why you might see a few of my close pals here joining me for this video. Isn't it great to have the girls back together and hang out again? Now, I've posted a fair few Celine bag reviews over on my blog, and since starting my YouTube channel late last year, I've managed to film several Celine bag reviews for those of you that prefer watching these rather than reading them. And I've received a fair few messages and comments on those posts and those videos about the fact that a lot of those styles are going to be discontinued. Now, some of those comments are true, but some of those comments have yet to be confirmed by Celine. But considering the influx of messages that I've received about it and the fact that a lot of you out there might have them on your wish list and you might be concerned about the fact that these might be discontinued, I took matters into my own hands. I made a few calls and I asked specifically about the Phoebe Philo styles. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you everything that I know. But I think that we can all agree that this fear or this concern about the potential loss of those Celine bag designs stems from the fact that Eddie Slimane, when he assumed his role as creative director of the brand after Phoebe Philo stepped down, he made a lot of changes to the brand, and a lot of those changes weren't welcome and made people quite unhappy. I should also say that I have been mispronouncing Phoebe Philo's name in all of my previous Celine videos. I had pronounced it as Phoebe Philo when it's Phoebe Philo. I hate when I mispronounce things. It's how I just had been reading it in my mind, similar to when I was reading the Harry Potter books before the films were released and I was reading Hermione's name as something completely different. I'm sorry about that. Apology not accepted. In today's video, I thought it would be worthwhile taking a step back, sharing a little bit of Celine history, which would then provide context as to why these bags are so important to so many people. And then I'm going to set the record straight with the particular styles that are going to be discontinued or where there is yet to be confirmation from the brand. But I think there's a lot of information out there to support a lot of the assumptions, including the fact that Phoebe Philo is starting her new label very, very soon. Now, before I get into the guts of this video, a little bit of an intro about me. I am a Celine girl through and through. I'm the proud owner of 6 Celine handbags, all designs from the Philo era of Celine. Not necessarily purchased before 2018 when she stepped down. I managed to pick up a couple secondhand afterwards, as well as some new because the designs were still available in the store. I've always loved Phoebe Philo's design aesthetic. She designs her pieces to be simple, easy, wearable, beautiful, and I'm guessing because you've stumbled across this video that you're a fan of her design aesthetic too. I think there's not really much more to say about it. Her designs speak for themselves. And I work as a lawyer in Sydney, and personally I find that the bags that I use for work, they just hit the right tone. They're not loud or emblazoned with logos. They're very minimal and very pared back, and they spark a lot of if you know you know type situations. Look, I must say that I have exchanged a fair few looks when I've been in court or when I've been in conference, and these include opponents where you're acting for parties that are in dispute, but you acknowledge the beauty of the bag. It's an icebreaker in those situations. Nice bag. Now I will destroy you. Given I have such a healthy and happy collection of Celine bags, and that I have endeavoured to share all of my Celine knowledge with you in my online spaces, I really feel like I can only do that with Celine as well. I can't do it with any other brand. Whenever I'm putting my stuff out there with you, it's my intention that it stays out there for a while so that it can help a lot of you for as long as possible. And so it's been really tricky navigating the rumour mill and also coming to the realisation that a lot of these bags might be gone sometime soon. Now, in order to talk about what might be happening in the future, let's delve into the past and what has happened so far. I always find it so interesting to learn about the brand's history, its origins, as well as the designer's inspiration. It's always nice to know that you're investing into that little piece of fashion history. So, welcome class, let's start our history lesson. Celine was founded in 1945 by Celine Vipiana. Her and her husband started the brand as a made-to-measure children's footwear business. Very different to what we're seeing today. So the brand was founded in 1945, which puts us at the end of World War II. At the same time, we see other labels like Christian Dior also start shop. Now, in 1960, we see Celine change direction and it becomes a ready-to-wear label. Celine Vipiana remained the designer from 1945 all the way way through to the mid-90s, and she leads the brand through various changes. And so it goes from ready to wear, it releases its first fragrance in the 60s as well, and as it pivots, the brand becomes very popular. By the time we hit the 1990s, Celine has been acquired by LVMH, so it becomes part of that French holding company, that big fashion conglomerate of luxury brands, and Michael Kors assumes the role of creative director. This was before he started his label, so he's with Celine from 1997 through to about 2004. As part of being acquired by the LVMH group, the brand gets more exposure and as a result becomes a lot more popular. Michael Kors leaves Celine in about 2004 to start his label, and the rest is history there. He is huge now. So there were a couple of creative directors that were appointed after Michael Kors left. They sort of held the fort from about 2005 to 2007, and then in 2008 it was announced that Phoebe Philo would be coming on board as creative director. She presented her first collection in 2010. There are a few factors that contributed to the brand's success today. You've got LVMH acquiring the brand and giving Celine a lot more exposure, and then Phoebe Philo just takes things up a few notches. Phoebe Philo's design aesthetic resonates with many. Her ready-to-wear collection, as I touched on earlier, is beautiful, but she just had the Midas touch when it comes to handbags. You know, before she joined Celine, she was at Chloe and she designed the iconic Paddington bag, and that's the one with the padlock on it and was immensely popular at the time. But it's the Celine bags that she designed during her tenure with the brand that are arguably the most exciting. So she kicked things off with the luggage tote, and then so many other beauties followed. There's the trio, there's the Sangle, there's the Cabas or Cabas, depending on how you say it. There's the trifold, there's the belt bag, there's the trapeze bag. So many different designs which I'll litter the screen with right now that were worn by so many different celebrities, stylists, and just all around fashionable people. You know, pow, 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 pow. You get the picture. So it was all happy days and rainbow skies until 2018 when Phoebe Philo announced that she would be leaving Celine. And there was an outpouring of emotion. Everybody loved Phoebe. We didn't want her to go. And then it was announced that Eddie Slimane would be taking her place as creative director. There was a little bit of confusion and concern about that appointment. Eddie is a celebrated designer in his own right. He's exceptionally talented, but I think the confusion stems from the fact that his design aesthetic is completely different to Phoebe Philo's. It's very hard, very edgy, very rock and roll. And so I guess there was a lot of panic in the fashion community. The pre-loved market went crazy. A lot of people were trying to get their hands on Phoebe Philo's bags because they were worried that all of her designs would be discontinued. And so I heard of a lot of people that managed to sell their bags for more than what they paid for. You know, I got caught up in the flurry too, and I had zero intention of letting my bags go. All I wanted to do was build up my collection, but then there was reassurance put out there that he wasn't going to change things too quickly. Okay, so Eddie Slimane comes on board, and his initial changes, while they might sound minimal, they were very impactful. There's no doubt there as to the approach of each of the designers and that they're very distinct from each other. The first major change that he makes is in relation to the logo. The Celine logo at the time of Phoebe Philo's tenure was that it had an accent on the E. Eddie Slimane decides to get rid of the accent and he changes the font to a more modern font. He explains that in the 60s there was no accent over the E, and he argues that there is a more balance of proportions without the accent. And he also brings the letters closer together and makes them more bold. Just for a bit of context, during Eddie Slimane's time at Saint Laurent, he actually removed the Eves from Yves Saint Laurent to the brand and changes it to Saint Laurent, and so he's got a bit of game there when it comes to changing logos. The change in the logo really separated old Celine, which is considered to be the Philo designs, to new Celine, which is now Eddie's take on the brand. Aside from the logo, the ready-to-wear aesthetic changed, no surprises there. When it came to the handbags, the changes were quite slow. The trio, this one here, was one of the first bags to be officially discontinued, but all of the old designs remained. They were rebadged with the new logo and available for sale. Some of the bags as well were made available in different sizes. One bag that comes to mind is the belt bag, which was released in a tinier size, the Pico size, about a couple of years ago and has become incredibly popular. So things have just been chugging along in the handbag department. Eddie has managed to release is a few of his new designs which sit alongside Phoebe Philo's designs when you go into the boutique, but it has only been in recent months that the rumour mill has gone into overdrive as to the status of Phoebe Philo's designs now. Let me bring you up to speed with what I know. Now, when I speak to my contacts at Celine, no one is keen to confirm what is happening, and that's probably because they either don't know or they're not allowed to say, but I think there are a few factors that explain why the rumour mill is going into overdrive now. Firstly, Celine since the 1990s has been owned by LVMH. Phoebe Philo is due to launch her new label very soon, and LVMH is a minority stakeholder. Perhaps they've come to some sort of arrangement, and this is me feeding the rumour mill, that all of the handbag designs during her time with Celine will be phased out to make way for her new brand. I'm not sure whether she has the ability to do that. Specifically with the bags, I called several Celine boutiques and spoke to several very friendly SAs at Celine, who then checked in with their merchandising team about the status of a lot of the Celine bags, and here is what I know. Number one, the trio is gone. It is not coming back. It has been discontinued. Number two, the medium-sized Phantom Cabas, or Cabas, depending on how you pronounce it, is likely going to be gone. The smaller Phantom Cabas will still be available in limited colours and with limited production. If you can't picture the design, I'll pop a picture for you on screen. It is also keeping me company back here. Number three, the smaller Sangle bag is going to be discontinued. There is no official word about the Seau Sangle bag, which is the larger style bucket bag here, though my understanding is that production has been limited and seasonal colours will likely not return. Number four, in relation to the belt bag, the luggage bag and the classic box bag, there has been no further word about what's happening with those. As I said earlier, the belt bag saw an additional size added to its range, being the Pico size, the smaller size, and perhaps that's a nod to the fact that the belt bag is still an immensely popular design. But consistently across all of the conversations that I had, it is only a matter of time until Phoebe Philo's designs will be phased out. When in the future, I don't know. It could be in the very distant future. In any event, where does that leave you if you've wanted a Phoebe Philo design bag for a while and you haven't managed to nab one yet? I think that if you have had your eye on a Philo design Celine bag for a while, then I would seriously consider getting one now just to avoid disappointment, either pre-loved or new, just while they're available on the market. Otherwise, I am sure that a lot of you, like me, are sitting tight and waiting for Phoebe Philo to finally launch her brand. And we all have our fingers crossed that handbags will be in the mix as well. I hope you found this video to be interesting. Thank you so much for watching. I upload videos about once or twice a week centered around my luxury bags as well as my personal style. If you liked this video, then let me know by hitting that thumbs up button down below, as well as subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.